Hello everybody, coming to you live from the park across my apartment. This is my Oscars commentary video, but we going fast because this is my 7th time filming this video already. I just edited all mine. They're all 3 hours long, shortest cut 40 minutes, so we have to get going if we're gonna do this. People have wanted me to do this video for years because they want me to talk about film, whatever, and I have a lot of credibility because I have been watching all of the films for the Oscars for the past decade, and I have been betting and doing the pools. I've watched the Oscars my entire life, but I've been an expert for the last decade, so I know more than you. I know more than the locals, which is why I'm trying to make this video in the first place, because the discourse this season is just so fucking stupid, and I need to talk about it so that people will understand what to think, because you don't know what to think because you aren't as good as this. I've been in the game more than you, okay? You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead with it. No more playing nice. Let's just go on. I'm not gonna summarize all the films because that's part of the reason why all my videos are like 3 hours long. So long story short, you should have watched all of the films, or most of them. They're all good this year. Last year was a train wreck. Every single film this year is good. I was supposed to go through all 24 categories to express who and what I think will win, but we don't have time for that, and I do talk a lot, so I'm only gonna go through like the major 6, maybe major 8. Just do major 8. For Best Original Screenplay, we got Parasite, Marriage Story, Knives Out in 1917, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And the winner will be, and deserves to be, Parasite. Because Parasite, if you didn't already watch it already, like, why have you not watched Parasite? If there's one film you should watch this year, it should be Parasite. That's the best film of the year, and it is going to win everything and deserves to win everything, but I can't think much, so let me just speak. Parasite is like a roller coaster. It's a genre bending, shifting from slapstick comedy to horror to all of that shit. So much suspense, and the reason why it deserves Best Original Screenplay is because it does all of this. It changes from genre to genre so subtly, but it also delivers so much like political commentary. Bong Joon-ho said the reason that we all relate to this film is because, capitalism is evil. But yeah, like the way that delivers that message while also delivering probably like the most entertaining film ever is just such a feat, and it deserves Best Original Screenplay, and it will get Best Original Screenplay. It won for the Writers Guild Award, and it won for the BAFTA. It's kind of secured that it's going to win. And my other favorite in this category is obviously Marriage Story. I think it was so well written, so intricately written. The thing that makes Marriage Story amazing is the dialogue and the acting. So yeah, shout out to Marriage Story. It's my runner-up. Best Adapted Screenplay. Now, isn't this complicated for this category? We got Little Woman, Jojo Rabbit, The Irishman, Joker, and The Two Popes, I think. I didn't look it up. I'm just hoping that those are the 5 because I really do not want to cut this video. The reason why this category is so complicated is because the projected winner for a very long time was Little Woman. And I really wanted it to be Little Woman. I fucking love Greta Gerwig, if you can tell from this shirt. And I thought that Little Woman was such a great personal film because even though this is an adaptation, it's a fun fact. Both A Star Is Born and Little Woman, I don't know if one is ahead or one is tied, but they both, or one of them, got 3 or 4 nominations for the same story. So last year when A Star Is Born got nominated, it was its 3rd or 4th time being nominated, because there's been like 3 or 4 other Star Is Born before it. And now with Little Woman being nominated, it's the same. It's either the 3rd or 4th, because there have been a million Little Womans before it. So isn't that fun? Isn't that fun? Fun Oscars fact. But Also, this screen is just to light me. There's nothing in this screen. I am an Oscars fanatic. All of this knowledge comes from memory. So it's a very personal film to Greta Gerwig, even though it is an adaptation. She sometimes calls it her most personal film. More than Lady Bird, which is interesting because Lady Bird is literally about her life. And Little Woman, it's just such a wonderful film. She made it her own. She split the story into 2 timelines, which is weird because the reason why it's been like falling in the predictions is because a lot of the Academy members didn't get it, which is weird because I'm pretty sure that you could get that it was 2 different storylines because they're different colors. One's like blue and the other's like yellow, warm and cool. But some people just be stupid. If you read any of the Hollywood Reporter commentaries from the Academy voters, you will find out that a lot of them are more stupid than you thought they were. But that aside, I did get confused in one part in the beginning, but after that it was smooth sailing, But like if you read the script, it's so personal to her. You can see the amount of love she had in the script, and you can feel the emotions of all the characters. Even though you don't see it, you can read it. But Jojo Rabbit, Taika Waititi has been winning so much shit. He won the Writers Guild Award and he won the BAFTA. So, Jojo Rabbit might sneak in there. I mean, it's not gonna sneak anymore. It's already the projected winner now. Jojo Rabbit is set to win the Best Adapted Screenplay. Do I think it deserves it? Sure. I fucking love Taika Waititi. I didn't think that Jojo Rabbit is the most Oscar-worthy movie, but you all will hate me if I say that shit and you didn't watch it, because if you do watch it, you will see it is the cutest, most wholesome film of all time. We fucking love kids. Roman Griffin Davis, that's my son too. So Jojo Rabbit, beautiful, cute, wholesome, funny film. It's going to win Best Adapted Screenplay. Taika Waititi and Bong Joon-ho, best friends forever. They're both gonna win for writing. Let's move on. Best Supporting Actress. So Best Supporting Actress, we got Laura Dern for Marriage Story, Florence Pugh for Little Woman, Scarlett Johansson for Jojo Rabbit, Kathy Bates for Richard Jewell, and Margot Robbie for Bombshell. Fun fact, I needed to specify the movies because Laura Dern, Florence Pugh, and Scarlett Johansson all have other movies. So basically the projected winner for this is Laura Dern because she deserves it, and because the only other person who would deserve it is not even nominated in this category. 2 of the 4 snubs this year were Jennifer Lopez for Hustlers and Zhao Zuzhen for The Farewell. And if Kathy Bates didn't get her nomination, which she didn't really deserve, but I wouldn't know because I didn't watch Richard Jewell, and I really do not want to watch Richard Jewell. It's one of the only films I haven't watched. But if she didn't get her nomination, then Jennifer Lopez would have gotten it. For sure, because Jennifer Lopez gave the second best supporting actress performance of the year in Hustlers. That was fucking amazing, and I have no idea why she isn't snubbed, but I'm not gonna go off on it because it will take forever. And then Scarlett Johansson, I love her as an actress, not a person. We all, the reason there's so much shit going on this Oscar season with the discourse because of Scarlett Johansson, and I get it, but let's just set all that tree shit aside and let's just focus on the acting. Okay, Scarlett Johansson, great actress, and I loved her in Marriage Story, and I thought that she was great in Jojo Rabbit. If I wanted to watch her tie shoes, then I would have watched Marriage Story, which I did 9 times. So I didn't really see why she got nominated for Jojo Rabbit. For just speaking in a German accent and tying shoes, but I'm just really happy for her that she got a double nomination this year because that's kind of iconic. But in lieu of Zhao Zuzhen in The Farewell, I don't think so. So that's very devastating that the farewell was shut out this year. Scarlett Johansson, if she didn't get nominated, it would have been Zhao Suzanne, and if Kathy Bates didn't get nominated, it would have been Jennifer Lopez. So those two were so fucking snubbed, and whatever. So the best supporting actress is the way that it is. It's gonna be Laura Dern. She deserves the fucking Oscar. It's the most memorable performance of the year. If you think that her Little Woman performance was more memorable or was more deserving than her Marriage Story performance, then you are wrong. You're just on the fucking Marriage Story hate bandwagon, because you are fucking joking if you think that anything can top Laura Dern's Marriage Story performance this year. She deserves it. She is the one who coined the line, and he didn't even do the fucking. That alone is why Laura Dern deserves. Moving on to supporting actor. We got Joe Pesci, The Irishman, Al Pacino, The Irishman, Brad Pitt, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Anthony Hopkins, The Two Popes, and Tom Hanks, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. My personal favorite is Tom Hanks. Almost made me weep, but didn't. But yeah, that should make me cry. I also loved Al Pacino in The Irishman. I love that. He's my dad. Everyone in that movie is my dad because they're all Italian and named Tony. And my dad is part Italian and named Tony. So anyway, the winner is going to be Brad Pitt. And you know what? It's fine, because I fucking love Brad Pitt. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood made me love Brad Pitt in a different way than I've ever loved Brad Pitt before. And an added thing is that Brad Pitt's speeches this season were fucking great. If you saw his Screen Actors Guild Awards speech, that was the best speech of the season, in my opinion, besides Joaquin Phoenix's BAFTA speech and Joaquin Phoenix's SAG speech. It's been Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt has just been on a speech streak. He should be winning for his speeches instead of his actual film performance. So that SAG Award speech, his Golden Globe speech, his BAFTA speech, and he wasn't even fucking there for his BAFTA speech, but he killed it, and he was the talk of the town, you know? So I'm just excited for Brad Pitt to win for his speech for the Oscars, because who knows what he will do, what he will touch on. We know he's single, we know he uses Tinder, you know? We will see where that man goes. And who was snubbed in this category? Song Kang-ho. Why? Because the Academy fails to recognize Asians as real people. But we will get to that in the later categories, because next is Best Actress. So for Best Actress, we got Renee Zellweger. For Judy, we got Scarlett Johansson for Marriage Story. We got Cynthia Erivo for Harriet. We got Saoirse Ronan for Little Woman. And we got Charlize Theron for Bombshell. We can't call the Oscars so late because Cynthia Erivo got nominated for Harriet. But then again, she got nominated for Being a Slave. And the thing about this whole entire Oscars thing is, I've been defending the Oscars in previous years. I've been saying, oh, we shouldn't be blaming it for being so late because there's just not enough diverse films out there. But the problem is that there were a bunch of fucking diverse films this year. There were so many. There's no excuse why there shouldn't have been more diverse nominees. And one of the problems is the failure of the Academy to recognize Asians as real human beings. Because that's why there's been so many snubs. That's why Parasite got snubbed so badly, because it won for the Screen Actors Guild for Best Ensemble, but yet it didn't get any acting nominations. Song Kang-ho deserves an honorary nominations for literally his entire career. In this category for Best Actress, I wish that Awkwafina was there, because Awkwafina deserves it. There's no excuse for why Awkwafina didn't get nominated. I really think that she was snubbed, and it is just so devastating to me how the farewell was shut out of the Oscars this year. Sadly, the Best International Film category was renamed to International Film. Before, it was named Best Foreign Language Film. And if it was still Best Foreign Language Film for like a year longer, then the farewell probably would have gotten nominated. It would have caused a lot of controversy because it's an American film, but at least it wouldn't have been shut out. And maybe if it got nominated for that, then maybe Awkwafina and Zhao Suzanne could have secured nominations. But it didn't, and they didn't, and it was just shut out undeservedly. It was one of the best films of 2019. If you still haven't watched it, what are you doing? Watch it. So sadly, Awkwafina got snubbed, and sadly the farewell got shut out. Awkwafina and Jennifer Lopez are probably the two snubs I'm the most angry about this year. And the projected winner for Best Actress is Judy Renee Zellweger, and I will personally take it as an Oscar for Bridget Jones. When she wins, I'm literally gonna say she won for playing Bridget Jones 3 times. I personally think it should have been Scarlett Johansson who won, but I can't really talk about that much. But I love all the performances in Marriage Story. Let's just get that down, get that shit down, and move on to Best Actor. Best Actor, we got Joaquin Phoenix, Joker, Adam Driver, Marriage Story, Antonio Banderas, Pain and Glory, Jonathan Pryce, The Two Popes, and Leonardo DiCaprio for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I love Jonathan Pryce and The Two Popes, but my favorite 2 performances of the year were Adam Driver in Marriage Story and Antonio Banderas in Pain and Glory. I watched Pain and Glory back in May, and ever since then I was like, I hope that Antonio Banderas wins. Well, of course he's not going to, but he deserves it, and it's so sad how Pain and Glory is barely gonna get any recognition. Pedro Almodovar should have been nominated for Best Director, but we're not gonna go on that. Let's just watch Pain and Glory. All of the non-English films this year, The Farewell, Parasite, Pain and Glory, and Portrait of a Lady on Fire, which isn't getting anything. Those are all 4 of the best fucking films this year, and if you haven't seen it, see it. Please see it, okay? Portrait of a Lady on Fire is coming out on February 14 again, so if you can, and it's gonna be a wide release, so watch it if you can. The other 3, find online, okay? And Adam Driver, I think, deserves the Oscar. I think that he's the best performance of the year, just because of how red his face gets in the argument scene, which I will not talk about until maybe later if I still have time. Joaquin Phoenix is gonna win, and I fucking love Joaquin Phoenix, and I am personally gonna take his win this year as a win for Her 2013, The Master 2012, and You Were Never Really Here 2018. I fucking love Joaquin Phoenix, and I think that he's the greatest actor of all time. And it's funny because one of the greatest actors of all time, and it's funny, but I just didn't think Joker was his best, but I thought he was really good in Joker. But it's funny because Joaquin Phoenix, a few years ago, when it was 2012 and it was The Master, he said that Oscars and all these award shows are like meaningless, you know? And it's just so funny because now he's winning everything, and that's why his speeches are so amazing, because he is using his platform, because he really doesn't want to win or be a part of this shit, but he has to. So I am very excited for what he'll say. But the Oscars, I loved his BAFTA speech, and I loved his SAG speech. His SAG speech was just telling all of the actors how much he admired them and his work, and you can tell it was so genuine. And he said that Adam Driver deserved to win, so I mean, he knows what he's doing, so he's gonna win, and I'm fine with it. Best Director, we got Bong Joon-ho for Parasite, we got Sam Mendes, 1917, we got Martin Scorsese, Irishman, Quentin Tarantino, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and we got Todd Phillips for Joker. Todd Phillips is a grade A idiot. I'm not gonna elaborate because that's part of the reason why my videos are always fucking 3 hours long. But let's just say that he's an idiot, and even though I did like the Joker, the reason why the discourse hasn't gotten any better and has only gotten worse is because Todd Phillips is a grade A idiot who doesn't know what he did wrong, and even if he does know what he does wrong, he doesn't want to accept it because he can't see people seeing the film in a way that he doesn't see it, you know? So he's just an idiot, okay? But still, even you have to remember the Joker was made by an idiot. You can still like the Joker because I like the Joker, and you can still love Joaquin's performance because I love Joaquin's performance, but you have to remember it was made by an idiot. For someone who made a movie about our society, he doesn't really understand our society. So just, okay, I can't elaborate on this, just no, he's a fucking idiot, okay? For director, I wish it was Bong Joon-ho, because again, everything I said about Parasite still remains true. Bong Joon-ho has, every film he's ever made has been fucking perfect. And talking about Todd Phillips, I think that I already said Pedro Almodovar deserved the nomination, but also Noah Baumbach and Greta Gerwig. Imagine they said Mr. Greta Gerwig for Noah Baumbach, but I think Noah Baumbach honestly deserved the nomination more because I think Marriage Story was so intricate intricately directed, and there's just so much that I love about Marriage Story. And there's like the argument scene was filmed like a musical number, and it was just so fucking detailed, and I feel like he deserves. But also Greta Gerwig, the only reason why she's non-nominated is because she's a woman. There's a person who said that Greta Gerwig is privileged. She's literally a white middle-class person who's a film snob, and she loves Tarantino and shit like that, and like she's literally just like a man, but the difference is that she's a woman. So if you think about it, it's literally just her gender it's marginalizing her from all this. So no one Greta were snubbed. And yeah, there were a lot of people who could be in Todd Phillips' place. Lulu Wang, but the farewells shut out. But yeah, all that aside, Shawn Mendes is gonna win because his fake relationship with Camila Cabello is probably like the most intriguing fake relationship I've ever seen. But yeah, anyway, Sam Mendes is gonna win. He directed American Beauty too. I think that's the last time he won. I don't even remember, but that started Pedophile, but I still liked it a lot better than 1917. But I love 1917. 1917 is a great ass movie, but let me talk about that later. But yeah, American Beauty is one of my favorite Best Pictures winners, and Sam Mendes won then, and he's gonna win again. And lastly, we got Best Picture. Who do we got for Best Picture? We got 1917, Ford vs. Ferrari, The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Woman, Marriage Story, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. And the problem with this year's race is that there are too many good films. Let's talk about tradition, okay? What does the Academy love? The Academy loves war films, the Academy loves dad films, the Academy loves veterans, and the Academy loves technical achievements, I guess. So last year, there were so many good films to come out 2018, but none in like the mainstream world. The mainstream world, that's why we got Bohemian Rhapsody nominated. Vice and Green Book, give or take, I did like both of them, but like they weren't like the best films, but they were the best of like the mainstream or like the normal films that usually get nominated for Best Picture. So for this year, we had a shit ton of films. We got the dad film, we got Ford vs. Ferrari, we got the war film, we got 1917, and we got the veterans, so Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with Tarantino, and The Irishman, Martin Scorsese. The veteran thing isn't always the case because like for Silence in 2016, Martin Scorsese didn't get anything, but the point is that those are the things. So they were all those films are good films, decent films. Like those were secure spots. Like those four were definitely going to get nominated because of their of the way that they stick to tradition. So because of their secured spots, so many were shut out, including The Farewell, which I cannot stress enough deserves so much more than it didn't get at the Oscars this year. So all that aside, the 1917 is the weird frontrunner this year. It was a hit at the box office, but I really don't understand why it is. It's because of the technical achievement. I think its category as a technical achievement is better than war film, because war films are always nominated, but they're not always in the lead. Let's talk about 2017, Dunkirk was such a better film than 1917, but I love 1917, don't get me wrong. The difference between that and Dunkirk is that it was all shot in one shot. Birdman in 2014/15, that was all shot in one shot, and it won over Boyhood. So you really know that the Academy loves that shit. So I guess that's why it's the front runner right now. I personally think that it's a good thing that 1917 is the front runner, because since 2014/15, the Oscar front runner has never won. 2014/15, it was Boyhood who was the front runner, And then Birdman was the second frontrunner, and Birdman won. And then the next year, it was The Revenant / The Big Short who was the frontrunner. I thought it was The Big Short. Other people say The Revenant. It was kind of like between the two. And then second frontrunner was Spotlight, and Spotlight won. 2016, La La Land and Moonlight. Moonlight won. 2017, it was Three Billboards in Ebbing, Missouri, and Shape of Water, and Shape of Water won. And 2018, sadly, it was Roma who was the frontrunner, but Green Book won. So this year, I really think, because 1917 has been the frontrunner for so long, I do think that, and Parasite is the second frontrunner, I do think that Parasite is going to win, especially because in the BAFTAs last week, 1917 won, and it has been a long time since the BAFTA and the Oscar winner were the same. Don't ask me when the last time was, because I forgot. And Parasite won the Screen Actors Guild. So even though 1917 has been winning so much shit, I believe in Parasite. You should believe in Parasite, and Parasite needs to win. The Academy needs the Parasite to win more than Parasite needs the Academy, because if 1917 won, I really don't know what it would be like. We're already living in a post-Green Book world. I cannot imagine a post-1917 world, even though there's nothing wrong with 1917. Again, it stars two of the Game of Thrones kids. It stars George McKay. It stars Colin Firth and the Hot Priest and Benedict Cumberbatch, and they're all great in it. It's a good movie. You should see it in IMAX, but there's no point in seeing it. There's no point in watching it if you don't watch it in the theater. But the point is, 1917, it's a great movie. But I do think that Parasite will win and deserves to win and should win. And even though I like 1917 better than Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I'd also be happier if Once Upon a Time in Hollywood won over 1917. Just because 1917 doesn't really have, it has a story, but does it really have a story? Does it really mean anything? Is it just winning for technical achievements? Because what did I get out of 1917? I don't know. I don't know. This isn't even good from here anymore. Yeah, so I have a lot I want to say about the Oscars. I was supposed to go on a rant on people who hate Marriage Story, but I think that this is already going towards 20 minutes. If I edit it and it is less than 20 minutes, then I'm gonna rant about Marriage Story hate. But if not, we'll just save that for later. Oh, that's my predictions on the Oscars this year. Also, Parasite winning would be such a great win for South Korea and Asia in general. This is South Korea's first entry in any category. So this is the first time South Korea has been nominated in the international film category. So imagine how great it is that for editing and best picture and screenplay and everything, because this is South Korea's first year at the Oscars. Personally, I think that South Korea's first year should have been last year, because it was on the Oscar shortlist for Burning. Burning was on the Oscar shortlist for best foreign language film, but it got snubbed. I have no idea why I got snubbed, but Burning is such a good film. If you loved Parasite and you just want to support South Korea, watch Burning with my man, Steven Yeun. Great film, but yeah, so, and there's a bunch of other South Korean films that deserve to get Oscar nominations, but sadly didn't. Burning was the first South Korean film to ever be in an Oscar shortlist, so, but Parasite winning would be so good for Asia in general. As I said, the problem with the Academy is not seeing Asians as real people. So if Asians win, then hopefully that will be good for us in the future. If it doesn't change anything, then so be it. But we already got Choi Woo-shik in an A24 romantic comedy or romance film, so I think that we're winning in my book. So, yeah. Anyway, that's all I have to say about the Oscars. Not really, that's not all I have to say, but that's some of the things I have to say about the Oscars. I just really wanted to get a fucking video out already. And yeah, watch it tomorrow. Bet against me in the pools. Ask me if you have any questions, whatever. Just watch the Oscars so that we have enough viewers, so that they don't have to add fucking bullshit categories like popular film. Okay, see y'all later. If I ran about Marriage Story haters, the hater bandwagon, then I'll put down IGTV or YouTube soon. I will try to do this shit because it's annoying me how I can't do this shit. Okay. Bye. Also, I have a great ass, every year I do Oscars recreation pictures, and I have a great ass Oscar recreation picture for tomorrow, so look forward to that. Yeah, okay, bye.